Hey everybody, welcome to Ghostbox Live Experimental Sessions. My name is Greg Bach and thank you very much for joining me tonight. So we are going to, as usual, use Spirit Box. We're going to reach out to aliens tonight is kind of the consensus, is kind of what we're looking at, kind of what people have been asking for. And I think we're going to start with possibly the biggest alien of them all here. That's been kind of coming through, right? Oh my goodness. Here's the biggest alien of them all who just he said he wasn't going to want to be on tonight, and here he is, regardless of whether or not what he says. And I mean, he wants to reach out to his own kind. So I think that's why he's out here at the moment. So for those of you who don't know, this is Linus. He is my big boy, and he is also kind of the co-host of the deal here. So when he walks by, we pick him up, we say hello, we make him a part of things. He's also my ghost detector, as many of you know. If we get stuff that's weird to the box, he tends not to show up. He goes back upstairs, he hides. Don't shoot, you do hide. So we end up having all sorts of he's kind of my ghost detector, aren't you? Do you want to get down? All right. He's pretty patient, isn't he? I mean, all things considered. So that's Liney. And, he likes to make an appearance every now and then. So here we are. And just wanted to really just kind of get things going here. It's been a little while and just a lot of stuff going on. So wanted to make sure that we are able to do some Spirit Box. It's been a little while. The thing is that we haven't had a lot of great success, in my opinion, over the 3 weeks. And, it's just trying to figure out what that is and why that is. And we're going to talk about that a little bit here. But I do want to go through a couple things, as we always do. First of all, please share out this video. Please let everyone know that we are doing this because it'd be nice to have other people involved. You never know. Aliens might recognize, through thought or whatever, some of the people watching, since they probably have been spawned from them. So, I just feel like that, that's a great opportunity for people to be reconnected with their loved ones, their alien loved ones. And Sunday, when we're back, we'll be back to loved ones. But I really wanted just to do something here. Also, we do have a Patreon. I'm going to gloss over that tonight. For those who feel like they're moved by what I've done or like what I've done, feel free to send me, one-time love donation. I would like to thank Annette for sending me something, and I really do appreciate that. That's very kind of you to do. And then a couple weeks ago, before we got into this little bit of a hiatus, Don had sent me something. So thank you both very much. I really do appreciate it. It's very kind of you to do that. So a couple things I want to kind of talk about here real fast that are really important. First of all, now that I have some of your attention, I got something exciting that you may have seen on my Facebook pages, but I wanted to share it. And we got somebody to make a video for us. I have an event group called Parafriends Events. And we had somebody create a video for us because he's taking part in an event that we're doing. And I wanted to share that video. You may recognize him or you may not. But here's a special video for you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Nick Ruff here. I'm very excited to announce that I've teamed up with Parafriends Events, and we have a special announcement right now. You can join me September 21st for a Q&A online right here. It's very intimate. It's going to be a small group of people. You can join me. You can ask me questions, walk of life, paranormal, the journey, everything supernatural. We're going to be discussing right here on September 21st. It's put on by Para Friends Events, and you can go to the Eventbrite page for more details so you can join. And there's going to be exclusive VIP tickets that are going to be available where you can go and get those right now and have a one-on-one discussion with me, plus an autographed picture. So if you want this face, a picture, there you go, VIP tickets, and I'll send you an autographed picture and we can talk one-on-one. It's very cool. It's very intimate, and I can't wait to discuss everything with you guys. So September 21st, join me. Come on down. Let's get together right here online with Para Friends Events. Go follow them on Facebook too. See you soon.
So we are doing a Nick Groff event. We got Nick for an online event, and that is going to be September 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern, at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're really excited to get him for an event. This has been months in the making. I'm putting the link into all the chats as we speak right now. Please consider taking part in it. I know that, and for those who are curious, the VIP tickets, that includes the general admission as well. Plus, you get a chance to have 5 minutes alone. I mean, that sounds seedy, but 5 minutes with Nick, and then we're recording that and send you as for a keepsake, and then you also get an autographed picture. That's at the VIP level. Otherwise, you can just enjoy a Q&A with him, and that's going to be a lot of fun. We're really excited for it. And I know a couple of you here. I know a couple of you are actually going to the event. So thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Those of you who love Nick, please get a ticket. That would help us greatly, because we are looking to do more like these, either with Nick, who is very on board with what we're doing, or with other really cool paranormal folks that maybe people don't have access to see and stuff. So I would just say, please consider getting a ticket, because it's just going to help us, and it's going to be a great evening for you. That's just all. That's just how it goes. And so we're just going to go and talk more about stuff. I'm having people already correct me about the terminology of aliens. So we'll talk about that in a second. For those in the Minnesota area, before that, I just want to once again point out the sponsors for the Nick Groff event: Northern Shadows Paranormal Research Team in Duluth. We have Enchanted Boutique, which is in Maplewood, Minnesota. We have The Edge magazine, which is published in Minnesota through Kelly Wagner and her husband. It's a metaphysical magazine. Please check that out. And I'm talking with her right now about writing an article for them. Things That Go Bump Minnesota, another fantastic paranormal team. Creepy People Management, that manages Nick. Of course, my radio show, Drunken Oracle, AM 950, and very much so Charvinity. Thank you all very much for being sponsors and helping us out with that. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be really good. We also have, and I'm just looking here real fast, kind of moving around fast. Tomorrow in Anoka, Minnesota, Shar and I are doing Ghost Stories and Beyond for September. It's going to be at Billy's again, and it's always going to be there, because that's just how that works. We have Erica Lukes on tomorrow. We're streaming her from, I think she's in Colorado, but we're going to be all meeting in person down in the basement of Billy's, having food, and we're going to stream her in. She's going to talk to us about UFOs, Skinwalker Ranch, all these wonderful things. And you may have seen her on Ancient Aliens. So that's tomorrow at Billy's Bar and Grill in Anoka. That's going to start at 6:30 p.m. It's $10 per person. Come on in. It doesn't include food, but it's you can get food. They have a full service. They have a bar. They have all sorts of great stuff going on there. Um, it's going to be fantastic. So just really excited for all that stuff. We have a lot of good things going on at the moment. There's a lot of other events. Go to Pair Friends events on Facebook. There's a lot of things that have been added there, and that would just be, there's just so much. There's just so much going on that it's hard to keep up with everything. There's just a lot happening. October is going to be filled up. September is filling up. I'm going into November. So just a lot of cool things going on. So please, please, please go check it out. And we'll go there and figure it out. So that's that. Let's see, what else do we have here before we get started here? Anything else that I need to cram down your throats? Nope, I think that's about it. So with that being said, we are going to be trying to reach out to aliens. Now, Z on my personal profile page says that they don't like to be called aliens. They like to be called star people. When we can certainly give that a shot. But when I'm talking to you all, saying that star people, probably about maybe 50 to 70% may know what I'm talking about. Everyone else will be maybe just a little bit like, I'm not quite certain. So using the best kind of terminology to cover everybody. And it's good to see that even aliens have they get worked up over what they're called. So it just must be a universal thing, I guess. So we are going to reach out to them, do our best, see if anything comes through, if anyone comes through, if we get any sounds, if we get any sort of way of communication. We don't know. I mean, we've done this a number of times before, and every time that we do it, we get something that is different than the normal spirit box. So what we're hoping to do is more of that, and it's not impossible. Of course, we also have our other table as well, and we are going to use our paranormal equipment, see if anything comes through that way. But our focus is going to be on spirit box tonight, okay? Just because I feel like that may be the best route. I could be completely wrong. I mean, we're not experts at this, so we will, find out. We will see what everyone else says. And Chantel asked me, "Have you ever seen a UFO?" I mean, I think I've seen people who are not from this planet. No, the thing is about UFOs, I may have seen something in the sky that I can't explain. But at the same time, I can't really say that maybe just not a plane or something. I was over at John Marson's house. This was probably about a month or two ago. And what we're seeing up in the sky, because he lives out in Hudson, Wisconsin, so the sky is absolutely clear out there. You can't see any of the, it's the sky isn't blocked by city or anything. So we're out there, and we're out by the hot tub, and you're looking up in the sky, and there'd be like this little circle up in the sky, like a circle, and something would come out, drop. So it'd come out, drop, and then move. And I thought, and he thought too, he's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "I don't know." And so he also was just like, we kept watching it, and his wife Chris, it's just like she had an explanation for some kind of satellites or something, which could very well be. That just doesn't feel right. Something, you could see a circle in the sky. I mean, from where we were, it's super small, right? But it's a circle, and something comes out of it and drops and moves. And that was, I don't know what that was. And that was really interesting. And so it was very crazy. And that's the stuff that we love. And just actually probably the week before, I think it was, what happened was over in Hudson, there was a UFO sighting, and it made the news in Hudson, Wisconsin. It was in like the local web news, like it was like a community board or whatever it was, because John and Chris had seen it. And then they went to tell me about it, and they were trying to look for the article. I think if I remember right, when they were looking for it, we found it and we were looking at it. The next day, we we're trying to reference it for something, and it was gone. The article was gone. And this was like a sighting that was low. It was not like where what we're talking about was really high up in the air. Uh, uh, and uh, and that's what we thought, was really strange about it, that this was actually low as far as what the article had talked about. A couple things here that's come through. um, Brad, which I never responded to you, Brad. I'm sorry. You sent me those pictures. I apologize. I haven't responded. Seen Starlink satellites for the first time the other day. Looked weird, like a string of lights. Now that I believe, and Chris, if you're watching, if I'm interpreting what you had said, I think that's what you thought what we had seen was, and it doesn't sound like this. I don't think it's that at all. I think that Starlink is very, very different, and so it's that's pretty interesting. I think I've seen that before myself. Let's see here. Uh, and John, who's watching, he said about that night that we're watching over by the hot tub. He's like, it's very inexplicable, and about 20 units dropped and took off. That's exactly it. We had been watching and watching, um, and I mean, it just one right after the other, just one right after the other. It was like, is this a fleet? And I personally thought that it kind of seemed like a portal that they were coming out of. Just really, really interesting. I've never seen anything like that. And that was what, about 2 months ago or so, John. And now John and I was over at John's place this weekend, and we were watching the sky a little bit, and nothing even similar to that came out. There's something that John saw that was kind of out there, and it just kind of disappeared. But anything like what I just described, no, no, no. Never seen anything like that again. That was incredible. Um, let's see here. We got some people here talking. Yeah, Zanzi says portals perhaps, and I'm like, yep, I totally agree with that. And then let's see, what else do we got here? Chantel, who asked if I'd ever seen a UFO, she says that I swear I saw one, and it wasn't a plane because there was a plane beside it and just slowly disappeared. Wow, that's pretty cool. Let's see. And let's see. Zan says that she had been. Where did I find you? Give me 1 second. Zanzi's said that I've been abducted at least 2 times that I remember. She goes on to say, I call up the star people and paranormal daily. They're all around us, just like the paranormal. Not all ghost investigations are spirit. They are displaced ETs. I mean, I think that's very obvious. I agree 100%. And I think that's kind of the point of it, is that, for example, the spirit box was created by Frank Sumption to reach out to aliens. Its original intention was not to reach out to spirits. So there was some other thinking at play when it came to these pieces of equipment, and that's why myself, and I know others, use spirit box on occasion to try to reach out to aliens, because we just, what can we do? Can we hear that? I mean, it's all radio waves. It's all, I don't know what I don't know what kind of technology they have, but I know that it's very, very, very advanced. So I think anything is possible, to be honest. So we have that. What else are we missing here? Yeah, John just said that he had seen the Starlink, and that certainly was not it. So we have that. Let's see. We have people don't realize that aliens can even appear in the sky as a plane, jet, or helicopter. They have technology that can allow them to shapeshift. They don't want to frighten us. Now, I'll tell you one thing, and I'm not going to name names, but you may be able to figure out who I'm talking about. There is somebody who has made a name for themselves in the paranormal field. They are attached to a house that's has a name for it, and they say that they can just look up in the sky and UFOs will come to them always. And I'm not doubting the fact that someone can be that sort of beacon. We're beacons for spirits. Why can't we be beacons for extraterrestrials? The thing is, though, is I'm dubious a little bit because once I talked to this person, I said, I'm a little concerned to do this with you because I might be a little daunting if all of a sudden all these extraterrestrial ships, all these UFOs come out and I see them. And this person said, well, if you're afraid of them, they're not going to come out. And I'm like, okay. I mean, that seems pretty convenient. If you ask me, like everyone else sees it except for me. Oh, you must be afraid. You know what I mean? So that sort of thing doesn't really work for me. Maybe I'm just a little off on that. And Zan, who this is a very topic close to her, she says we're all created from aliens, therefore we are all aliens, and that's the conversation, right? On Temple Phoenix Rising, there was the UFO talk with Dawn and Adam and Catherine and Jennifer Sullivan. Jennifer Lee was on, and that was something that came up as well. It's one of the the whole purpose of Ancient Aliens. Where did we come from? Do we have our lives to any sort of evolution? Is that due to intervention from another planet? Creation, all that. I mean, those are heavy topics that I'm not going to get into. It's not my place to get into, but it certainly is very interesting to think that maybe this is not where it was from. I saw you on there. I watched while I was getting ready. So yes, we were definitely there together watching that program. And Denise says, I know I saw something green and odd shaped at night in the middle of nowhere coming back home from my niece's house. This was in wintertime. No idea what it was, but it was too far away to even try to determine. And, those are things, I mean, we all talk about what it'd be like to be able to experience something like that. But do we want to? What form does this take and what happens to us? Every time we do this, I say, I would really love to have a UFO encounter. I'd love to have, I'm going to be honest, I'd love to be abducted, but do I really want to? And when there's people such as Zan who says, I've been abducted twice, do I believe her? Absolutely I do. Why wouldn't I? That's not my place to say, no, that's not true. I don't like closed-mindedness. And so I'm more like, well, what was the experience? What was it like? Do you remember? And because she said she remembered a couple of them. John, not to put you on the spot, someday we're going to have a conversation and have John on to talk about dreams. And are they dreams? Are they dreams? Or are they actually, are we getting like, is your essence taken from your body, planted on some kind of ship of some kind or civilization that's not ours, and having some kind of, out of body experience where you're actually transported, even though your physical body might still be in bed? We know about astral projecting and everything else, but this to me feels like it might be a little bit different, like a straight transport, taking your essence. And John has a tremendous story about a couple situations of that, which are fascinating. And someone else had told me the same thing happened to them. So that is why those are really good conversations to have. So that's a lot of fun. All right, for those of you who are waiting patiently, we can try to reach out to some spirit. How about that? Now, I did some protection earlier. To me, it's a little bit different. So I think that if you want to take a moment and prepare yourself, ground yourself, all that good stuff, then we can definitely get started. Bridget says in a small book here, as someone who's majoring in art history and minoring in history, the more I read, watch any history, I believe that there are many connections between us and aliens. My husband even came across an article that says there's proof of galaxies similar to ours. There absolutely is. Now, as an art history major, Bridget, I recommend, if you haven't done so already, to kind of see those pieces of art, especially like my God, paintings done in the Renaissance period, where there are anomalies. Like there's one in particular of the Virgin Mary, where there's an anomaly behind her, and it looks like a UFO, like what we expect a UFO to look like. Where did that come from? Why would that be there? And that's the stuff that is really interesting. That's the stuff that I find super, super interesting, at least. So, on my radio show, I think we'll have to explore that topic. I don't know why I ever think about that. Speaking of my radio show, I'm going to be on Sunday at 4:06 p.m. We're going to have Nicole Antoinette on. She's going to do one question reading. She's a very talented medium, and we're going to really delve into anyone who wants to have a one question reading. Please join us. That's live this Sunday at 4:06 p.m. Central Standard Time. Brad goes on to say there are so many paintings like that. There are, and the thing too, like Ancient Aliens. Now, Ancient Aliens, the TV show, can be a bit fluff. Sometimes they'll have a premise for the episode, and they really need to try to stretch it out to fit the hour. And you're just like, oh my God, you're really stretching to make a point. But the one about Ancient Aliens, about the founding fathers, that is an interesting one, at least the first half of it. And that includes the paintings. Like there's like one of George Washington of like the ladder behind him in the painting that leads up to heaven. Now you might be like, well, that's just conceptual art. That's that's something being said from it. Maybe it's something else. There's also the story of the Potomac, when Washington's crossing Potomac and he disappears and he gets counseled by some green being. I don't know. That's exciting though. That's a fascinating part of it. Oops, I didn't want that one. Sorry. Everyone needs to see that she's saying hi to her mom, apparently. But let's see. Brad says that sometimes you get good theories on ancient aliens, but then you get the crazies. You get theories that are very thin, don't you? Sometimes where you're just like, really? But you do get some decent things under too. I always stay away from the stuff that's like of really ancient times. I'm more of like, are there bases on the moon? Presidents and aliens, that sort of thing. The ones where it's like, Maya and aliens, Maya civilization aliens, doesn't do as much for me. But to each their own. It's been running for like longer than aliens have been here. So, I mean, they must be doing something right. Also, it's interesting that the show itself, I mean, you look at how much CGI in the show. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into those episodes. It's pretty crazy, actually. You folks are talking my ear off today. I can't get a. Let's get this thing going. We're going to record. Brad says some of the ancient ones have good theories, but that's how they suck you in. They give you a good couple of theories, and then you get all fluff after that. Yeah, they have all the good stuff up front. It's always interesting, the stuff where you're looking at like the precision of some of those ancient buildings, or the pyramids, Stonehenge, all those things that you're like, how on earth did they even make this? They have to have some sort of other source helping, right? And the fact that the mathematical equations of getting a building that's so mathematically sound and equal is just absolutely incredible. And I find that stuff so fascinating. And then, like you said, some of it it's just like or zippers aliens. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? Some crazy stuff here. September 6th, Tuesday, September 6th, 10:35 p.m. Talking aliens with Spirit Box. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can. Now, Zan is saying that she's sending energy to my REM pod. So if it can go off, we would really appreciate it. We're also going to watch the bells moving, actually. Let's see if they've got any air coming around at that moment. I don't feel any air. Now, we all know the routine, right? No, the Ovilus is not on, Brad. Who's running this show? All right. It's certainly not going to be me. Oh, for God's sake. You don't do it. You don't do it for a week, and next thing you know, the whole thing falls apart. Blind, Northern. I don't buy into those words. So as the rules always go with this stuff, if we find that we're getting spirit interaction, we will switch gears, right? We're never going to turn away thing from talking to us. But if we are getting, if we feel like that this is a good way to move forward, then this is what we'll do. Zanzi is sending us energy. Anyone else who wants to send intentions, that is always great. We're going to try to reach out and see what happens. And I'm going to take a kind of a slightly different approach by asking if there's anyone overhead that can hear us, almost like we're trying to talk to another vessel, another ship, and we'll just kind of go from there. We can use we can use the I'm just reading some stuff. I don't know what I was going to say. We can just see where we go. A lot of people mentioned Northern Lights, and that is something that I did not see. I know that it was visible out here, but I did not see. I was inside where I belong. So let's turn this on and see what we have going on. And the usual part of the show, when whatever I try to use it doesn't work, and we can all just sit and laugh as I try to figure out why the Spirit Box from the week before doesn't work tonight. So that's always the fun part of these evenings. Is there anybody flying over us that would like to say hello, please? My name is Greg. Can you say hello to me? All right, can you say hello to me, please? We're trying to reach out to star people. I've been calling everyone aliens, but do you prefer the term star people? Hot in here. That feels right. That's radio. Spirits or aliens don't want to give the area code to Minneapolis. Now I heard something. I'm wondering if you all heard it. We'll let it go for a while, okay? I'm here. Is there anybody who is flying over my vicinity right now? There's 612 over here. 2 hours. That's what I always do. I think we're getting spirits, actually. I think we're getting spirits. There you go, Zan. What do you think of that? Right? Yeah, you know it.
I agree.
May I ask what planet you're from, please? Are you unable to share? Are you able to send a pulse down to turn off everything here? To dip the power? Or send a pulse to turn on anything on my table over here? Now, John says I heard I'm Zari, Z-A-R-I-E. Well, that's what he thought when you introduced yourself. I thought I got something back, too. Some days I'd like to ask that. Actually, I'd like to ask them to beam up some other people. Ooh. Are you just passing by, or do you live on Earth?
do it. Well,
Are you unable to tell me why you're here? Tell me. Something said tell me. Anyone else hear that? But you all heard Allison. That's interesting. I didn't hear Allison, but you did. And then Jill heard Alistair. See, when you heard that, I can understand why I could have got tell me. And I don't know what that was. That's interesting. Did anybody see that on the closed captioning by chance? Pam saw Allison or heard Allison. Is there an Allison here? Lynette heard Allison.
let's see.
Bruce, that's a great question. Can you send a sustained tone to this? Like a long tone, please. Like a pulse, a tone. What if it was something like that? What if that's what they do? Is there a special sound that you use to communicate that we are not aware of? Could you play that for us, please?
What's that?
Bell's moving. Is there a name that we can call you? What is your name? Look at that bell go, guys. Greg, is that like a clicking sound? Why is that bell moving? Char's been hearing it. I've been hearing it. Not tonight, but we've been hearing it. Why is that bell moving? Can you make the device behind it go off, please? Light it up. Hit the antenna. It will light up. I can't tell. I don't think it's slowing down. Are you here with me right now? I'm taking my lead from Zan. Ooh, what was that?
Very tasty.
We are looking. We are looking for high pitched sounds. Can you give me that, please? Look at that, the bell stopped. It was moving and now it stopped. But looks like it might still be moving a little bit. But that thing was cruising. Some lower voices. Do you know Zanzi? Multiple voices, Zanzi. But they said no.
Sure.
How many are you? Lynette heard the bell. I did not hear the bell. Look at that bell. It's not even moving anymore. Can you make the bell move again for us? It's moving. I asked the bell to move. It starts moving. Now it's not moving. That was quick and fun. So you all heard of the bell ding. I did not hear it ding. Can you make the bell move even more for us, please? Oh, it was. You guys, it was. I know exactly what it is. Thank you for that. It was. I got a text that came through. That's what that was. Sorry, that's why I didn't recognize it, because I hear it and I can't turn it off on this computer for some long. Sorry about that. Thank you for pointing that out. I just like, no, there was no bell ringing, but I could understand where you all came from with that. So dumb. Not you guys, just how that works. Public service announcement. All right. Are you still with us? That's radio. I'm looking for like a pulse. We'd like to still get like a pulse or a high pitched sound. Can you provide that for us, please? Why is it so hot in here? Lynette says it got really quiet. It did get really quiet. That bell's not moving at all anymore. Can you make the bell move for us, please? Is it moving? Can you make the bell move or any of the devices go off, please? Zancy says that you are here with me. Is that true? And that you are making it hot in here. It's okay if that's the case. That's what you get when you bring Greg Koss onto the program. Actually, I would love to visit your ship. I'd love to visit your ship. Can I visit your ship, please? If I went outside and looked into the sky, would I be able to see your ship? That's the dream, and I don't think it's a dream, nor does John, that John experienced, that we got to talk to him about. Doesn't, it sounded like we're getting something early on. It doesn't sound like we're getting anything now, does it? Okay, I think I spoke too soon. There was a high-pitched wheeling sound just now that actually didn't feel like it came from the box. Did anyone else hear that? Like, it just felt like overhead. Almost like someone had like a whistle, but it's like really high and it's very faint. Anyone else hear that? And then it was followed by some high-pitched talking through the box. Yes. Kind of, yeah. But I could still hear it. Are you trying to communicate with me? Are you in this house right now? I am. Picking it up. Just seeing what the time stamp is. Putting it down. I have a couple more questions. Are you here to observe certain people?
ready. Okay.
Are you integrated in? Are you integrated into our society?
Hmm?
I'll have to go back and listen to that. How's the bell doing? How crazy is that? Thing was moving. All right. So you all heard a brawl. Can I talk to you again sometime? Can I reach out anytime I want? We're going to call an end to this session. I'm going to shut this down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, okay. My impressions, I don't know what you all thought, simply is this. I felt like we got some stuff, and then it got quiet. I think the more that I started to personally started to focus on the bell, it felt like we were losing them. Because my focus had changed. There were a couple times that there was some, Zanzi had said that when she had experienced stuff like this, that they speak in like multiple voices as one. I've got one response like that. The high pitched noises, we got some of that. There's just a lot of interesting things, though I do think that we've gotten more in the past. And I was tempted to switch over to just trying to reach out to Spirit, because I do think Spirit was trying to reach out to us tonight. There were a couple names that I heard that, and don't get mad at me, that I think would have pertained to some of you tonight. But I didn't pursue that tonight. So that is basically my thoughts on it. And it'd be interesting for your thoughts and what you thought. That overhead noise lasted about maybe 3 seconds. It didn't last very long at all, because I feel like that when we were when I finally picked up on it, I think it was already done. Because it just took him like, what is that? What's going on here? So that is that's my thought on it, at least. A lot of people, Jill's like, I'd be really listening to the headphones probably later on. Yeah, please let me know what you think. Pamela says that think that we heard from multiple types of beings. Once again, that could very well be. Wasn't any of yours, Amanda, just to put you at rest. It wasn't any of yours. Yeah, and Penny says that I thought so about Spirit trying to get through as well. And Brad is like, yeah, I'll be interested to hear the recordings. And so and Zanzi is just like, let's do this again real soon. I agree. We can do this again. I mean, we could even do it next week, as far as I'm concerned, just because it's interesting. If you all think it's worth the time to do it, Sundays we'll do reaching out to loved ones. Then Tuesday we can do another round for aliens, and just and that's just it. Maybe the more we do it, the more of a more that they're going to be open to listening and taking part. So now Jill says that think they usually prefer to communicate telepathically with individuals when they want to, but there's some answers earlier. I mean, I'm no expert. I don't know, but I do know based on people I've spoken to, in particular, like my friend I keep talking about, Matt Neen, who claims that he found himself on a ship. They were getting responses, not even responses, but communication through shortwave radio. This was back in probably the early 80s. Early to mid 80s, that they couldn't account for. They didn't know what it was. And then the whole thing with his interaction with a UFO ship may lead credence to that. So that is why I figure that it's radio frequencies, and that they might be able to hear what we're trying to do. So that's kind of my thought on that. So yeah, that's what we have going on with that. Before I let you all go, once again, a couple things real fast. I ask that if you are able to, please check out the Nick Roth event that we have going on September 21st. I put the link in earlier to check out. You can also go to Eventbrite and search for parafriends_Nick Roth, or you can just search for Nick Roth and the event will come up as well. And you can definitely take part in that. And then, of course, tomorrow locally in Anoka, Minnesota, Ghost Stories and Beyond, we're going to be talking to Miss Erica Lukes. We're going to be talking about ufology. We're talking about Skinwalker Ranch tomorrow as well. And we're going to be streaming her into Billy's via the internet, and it will be a lot of fun. So I hope that you will join us for that if you're able to. It's not an online thing, it's in person that time. $10 to get in, but they have good food. So definitely worth taking a look at. So with that, we're going to call it a night. What we'll do is, for those who are around, please come to Ghost Stories and Beyond in Anoka, Minnesota tomorrow. And then Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, 4:06 p.m. Central Standard Time, Ghostbox Radio. We're going to have Nicole Antoinette on. We're going to do one question reading. So get your questions in as far as what you'd like to ask her. And then, of course, Sunday night, Ghostbox Live. And we'll be reaching out to your loved ones and family members, and it'll be, a wonderful evening. Thank you all so very much for joining me, and we'll try all this again next week, and we'll have, maybe it's like a muscle. We build it up, and we're able to get more out of it by trying more. So with that, I thank you all very much, and I will see you all next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.